I've put over 700 kilometers in the ASICS Nimbus 26s that have gotten me through 2 marathons worth of training. Now, after using them for all this time, just how good are they, and are they worth it? As I like to start all of my shoe reviews, how exactly did I use the ASICS Nimbus 26s? Now, being a max cushion shoe, I really used these for all of my long runs and a majority of my easy runs during the week when training for the Chicago Marathon and the Tokyo Marathon earlier this year. I vividly remember getting into my Chicago Marathon training and using my ASICS Nimbus 25s. They were getting to their end of lives, as well as my Puma Magnify Nitro 2s, needing another max cushioned easy shoe to add to the rotation to take up a majority of the mileage that I was running each week. I'd pick up the Nimbus 26s mainly for my recovery runs on the Monday when the legs were feeling a little sore and I was easing back into the training week, and also for my long runs on the weekend. Fun fact though, during the Chicago Marathon, I was using the Nimbus 26s to also handle a few marathon pace efforts in my long runs when training for it, but getting into Tokyo Marathon, switching to 2 quality sessions during the middle of the week left me just running easy for the entirety of my long run, so using the Nimbus 26s until the Super Blast 2s came into my rotation, that took over from there. Now, going into my personal thoughts about the Nimbus 26s, my first noticeable difference that I picked up when using these for the first time was the change in the upper material that felt a lot more breathable to me. I remember running a majority of my marathon training for my second one in the Nimbus 25s, and overall I just felt like my feet would just end up getting sweaty. In comparison to training for Tokyo, which was the summer parts here in Australia, noticed that these were a lot more breathable and I wasn't sweating in my feet as much. Similar to a lot of the ASICS shoes that I've been reviewing on the channel, this fitted true to size in my US 10.5s and was able to accommodate my full length custom orthotic with no real issues there at all. Personally, I did find the Nimbus 26s did have a much more enjoyable running experience to the 25s. I felt like these didn't feel as bulky as the 25s did when wearing them on the foot. Obviously though, being a max cushion shoe and yeah, about the same weight, honestly, as the 25s when I was wearing them, felt like when trying to pick up the pace for marathon efforts in my long runs, it just wasn't a shoe that could really handle that kind of running economy for long periods of time. Though when out for my long runs, I did feel like the 26s felt a little bit more plush in terms of the foam, and I know these were updated to the FF Blast Plus and just a slight change to the outer sole on the bottom too, which yeah, made for a comfortable ride. Though as I've gotten further into my running journey, as I mentioned in the previous section, I did make that eventual transition into the Super Blast 2s, which I've been using for pretty much every single long run since, when it was about the halfway point in Tokyo Marathon training where I made the switch from the 26s over to the Super Blast 2s. However, I still pick up the 26s in those easier runs where I just need a bit of comfort and a bit of support for tired legs. The shoe looks in relatively good nick for 700 kilometers worth of running. I don't really notice too much wear on the outer sole parts other than a few scuffs, which is just likely from running outside all of the time, and I'd say I'd get easily another few 100 kilometers into these. The only noticeable downfall that I could really give the Nimbus 26 was on the left shoe of mine. For some reason, the upper part is ripping away from the midsole, which I've never had in a shoe before, and 700 kilometers in, I felt like it still has quite a bit of life left. Other than that though, I can't really fault the Nimbus 26s for anything else. I know ASICS do a pretty good job when it comes to that max cushion shoe lineup. So, would I recommend these? And this is an overwhelming yes, and they get the Jack Runs Chocky of approval. For looks, I'm giving a 3 out of 5. Pretty decent colorway, the ones that I picked up. Run quality is a solid 4 out of 5, but also price, giving that a 4 out of 5, paying 219 Australian dollars when purchasing these. Brand new. I'll also say the Nimbus 26s are my favorites out of the Nimbus lineup that I've tried. So I've done the 25s, the 26s, and the 27s now. And I feel like the 26s are sitting on the top for me at the moment. I would recommend these to a runner that's looking for a shoe that can conquer any distance, but also wanting to be comfortable at the same time. Particularly if you're someone that does get a little sore after your runs and needs some loving and some cushion underneath the foot, the Nimbus 26 is definitely a recommendation here from me. It's not for a runner looking to set new PBs, however, it's just for someone looking at an all-round versatile shoe that they can use in running, and hey, I even use mine in everyday wear, to be honest. Can guarantee though you will have comfort in every stride you take in the Nimbus 26s. So there we have it, friends, my review on the ASICS Nimbus 26s. Again, the favorite out of the ASICS Nimbus lineup that I've tried so far in my running journey, and yeah, definitely a key shoe that's helped me get through my running journey so far. If you're keen on watching a few more of my shoe review related videos, I'll leave a couple up here for you to choose from now. I'm Jack, and I'll see you next time. Catch ya!